YouTube and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from the title of this video and also probably from this makeup look, I am one of the many people from around the world that got swept up by the hype of Euphoria. I'm here to tell you guys why it is, in my opinion, the teen show of a generation. First, let's just get one thing out of the way. I'm not really sure what generation I would fall under. Personally, I self-identify as a millennial. I did a lot of things earlier than my age group, but technically, being born in 1996, I am an early phase 1 Gen Zer. I come from a very slim group of years that is stuck dab in the middle between millennials and Gen Z. For millennials, I feel like the teen show that really influenced pop culture and made a huge splash was Skins. Skins was a British TV show about, teenagers behaving badly, doing drugs, having sex. You'll see that all teen shows essentially are like this. Think 90210, think Degrassi, think Skins, and now Euphoria is the new Gen Z version of that. The topics that are covered in these shows are usually pretty similar. As I said, teens doing drugs, having sex, and behaving badly, and then they tweak a little bit of the drama to throw in some current events so that it stays, relevant and relatable to that, generation. The difference between Euphoria and a lot of teen shows of the past and a lot of teen shows of the present, because Euphoria isn't the first teen show to come out. I mean, we had 13 Reasons Why, which I think tried to do what Euphoria was able to achieve but failed. Here in Italy, we had Baby. I did a video on Baby. To me, Baby was a big disappointment, but I guess a lot of other people liked it, but whatever. For me, Euphoria did what shows like 13 Reasons Why and Baby tried to do in so many ways. So let me just dissect them real quick. Let's get technical. The show had amazing everything. The lights and the sets, it is a feast for the eyes. It is so aesthetic, and that makes perfect sense because it's the teen show of Gen Z, the generation born into the internet, born into social media, born into the era of digitalized perfection and aesthetic. I loved that Romeo and Juliet reference, you guys. Romeo and Juliet, the one that came out in the 90s, I can't remember the name of the director because I'm not a film person, I already told you guys. I loved the aesthetic, I loved the characters, I loved young Leonardo DiCaprio, and I loved the soundtrack. And so when they made this whole Romeo, Jules, Juliet connection and the scene, I was just, yes. Everything about Gen Z is aesthetic. So it doesn't surprise me that Euphoria would be from the lights, the sets, the cinematography, the makeup, to the fashion. It was all very aesthetic. This show was so Tumblr. If I could describe Euphoria with one adjective that is not Gen Z, it would be Tumblr. Another reason that I liked Euphoria was because of the writing and the characters. This was one of the things that really killed Baby for me, and later on I'll discuss what killed it for me with 13 Reasons Why. Baby had, as I said in my video about Baby, underdeveloped characters, unbelievable scripts. It was very predictable and boring. We've been here, we've done that. As I said, it's really hard to make these topics interesting since they've been spoken about again and again and again since the history of TV. Euphoria, on the other hand, was never really predictable. I'll give you an example. When Rue started acting out, I was like, you see that? I bet her mom wasn't really a black mom. I bet her mom wasn't disciplining her the way black moms really discipline her, because she wouldn't be acting like this if she had a black mom. And then subsequently, literally one scene after me thinking of this, you see Sprue's mom getting really hood on her and being like,
"Don't walk away from me. You know what, Rue? I don't trust you. I want you to tell me where you were."
I just said I was a fucking
Don't be talking to me like that. You know what? I'm gonna drug test you. Don't be slamming no doors around here.
It was an accident.
Slam another door.
And I was like, ooh, I wasn't expecting that. It's hard to articulate, but every time I thought I knew what was coming next, it wasn't exactly like that, and it made it that much more interesting and made me want to keep watching. Every character had a really distinct, really well explained story, In fact, every episode focused on a specific character, so you really got to know them and understand them. And I like the fact that all the characters stayed true to themselves. It wasn't like other teen shows where you can tell that the writer is just trying to either get shock value or kill time. The characters are saying things that are essentially out of character and therefore unbelievable, which is another key token, in my opinion, of poor writing and what really kills a lot of series. Another thing that I really liked about the characters of Euphoria that I think are token of a good TV show or a good movie is that we didn't have any true good guys or bad guys. I mean, although, what was his name? Nate Jacobs? Well, damn it, I forgot his name. The jock. Although he was technically, that boy was evil. That boy was evil. Oh my gosh. He did so much shit, but Euphoria explained why. If you look at the big picture, you see his family, you see his father, you see his circumstance. Suddenly, the fact that he's a shit isn't so surprising. That was skillful. You know, a lot of other TV shows or movies will be lazy and they won't lay it all out for you. And suddenly you have these flat one-dimensional characters that are either all good or all bad or mostly bad. And we all know that in real life, people aren't 100% good or 100% bad. Another example would be Jules. Jules started off the show being my favorite character. I loved Jules and I was really rooting for Jules. But by the end of the show, I don't really like her anymore. I feel like even within being a trans woman, she's overwhelmingly privileged. She is still white, conventionally attractive, upper middle class. She doesn't have issues with money, and also quite selfish. And so by the end of the series, I really disliked her. And that was an interesting journey to go on with the characters, to go from really, really loving a character to being like, ooh, Jules, what are you doing, girl? On the other hand, Rue, who I didn't really like at the beginning of the series, I'm just like, girl, why are you ruining everybody's lives? Why are you ruining your own life? Why are you so damn stupid? But then as you learn more, as the series goes on, as the character develops, I ended up having a soft spot for Rue. And you see, good shows are able to take you on a journey with the characters. I think that objectively speaking, even if you take it out of the teen drama category, it'll still be seen as a good show. The reason why I think it'll be the teen show of this generation is because it just covered so many current topics so skillfully. As I said, they talk about drug addiction. Again, these things are all cyclical and generational. In the 80s, there was a huge crack problem. And right now, the huge drug issue is opioid addiction and heroin and those kinds of things. And the show touches on this, and I like the way they do it in the sense that, unlike 13 Reasons Why, there is no question about whether drug use was glamorized. There's no question about whether mental health issues or any of the issues that they faced were romanticized. Everything was told in such a way that it was a good way to show teens the truth without hiding all of the negatives. It was able to touch on a lot of really heavy topics in a way that was honest and eye-opening. This was one of the weak points of 13 Reasons Why. One of the things that bothered me the most about 13 Reasons Why was the fact that I read the book when I was younger, when I was a teenager, and it really bothered me the fact that they veered so far off from the original ending, and in such a way that, I mean, I don't want to say they were glorifying suicide or not, but it really just makes no sense to me why you would market a show towards teenagers and then literally step by step show them how to commit suicide, because that's what 13 Reasons Why did. I understand that you want to touch the topic. I understand that you want to draw awareness, but as they say in Italian, ci sono modi e modi, and there's always a line, and I feel like 13 Reasons Why crossed that line. Aside from the fact that it was unbelievable, aside from the fact that the script was poorly written, that I didn't think the characters in 13 Reasons Why were very well developed or believable, the true failure of 13 Reasons Why was its missed opportunity on how it could have spoken about certain issues, and it didn't do it in the right way, whereas Euphoria, on the other hand, does. I think that Euphoria was a really well-crafted piece of work, and I think that it will have implications in real life. I mean, first of all, I think that it's really cool that this up-and-coming generation that's growing up with this show will be able to talk about certain topics in the way that they did. I like the fact that in the show, being trans wasn't like this, it wasn't the whole point, okay? We saw a trans character in a normal situation, in a normal story, because at the end of the day, people are people. Trans, not trans, gay, straight. I like the fact that they showed different body types, different sexual orientations, different ethnicities, different mixed family groups. I like that they showed everybody. Everybody was represented, and everybody was represented in a very non-stereotypical way. I loved that. I thought that was really well done, and I like the fact that that's what this generation is seeing. Every time one of these shows come out, there's always criticism versus how, the show is not for kids, it's not appropriate for kids. And in some ways, I think that is true. I did see some videos on YouTube that talked about like the downfalls of Euphoria, and I partially find myself in agreement with them. I'm gonna link some of them down in the description box below so you can see them. I do think there was a lot of unnecessary nudity. I do think that some of the scenes were like unnecessarily explicit and didn't need to be. But at the end of the day, if I think about the things that I was seeing, I was watching, I was doing at 13, 14 years old, this is really nothing. These kids are going to see this stuff. They're going to know about this stuff anyways. There's really no point in hiding it. But as I said, it's all about making sure that it's represented in a skillful, honest, well-crafted way. And in my opinion, Euphoria achieved that. And that's one of the reasons why it's going to go down in history as the teen show of this era, this generation. I do think that it's gonna have interesting implications. We already see in like the makeup sphere, it's having implications on how people are doing their makeup. Being in the makeup sphere, being a beauty enthusiast, I mean, editorial makeup isn't new to me, but seeing editorial makeup in normal real life situations it never really clicked in my mind that that was something you could do. And once I saw it, I was like, I like that. And so now I see myself going towards more interesting, fun looks in real life. And I feel like a lot of other people are going to do that as well. I already see it a bit on social media, and I think it's just a matter of time before it starts playing out in real life. The New York Fashion Week is going on right now, and if you saw the makeup looks that were on the runway, there were rhinestones, pearls, all these different colors, all these really editorial looks that, yes, in a sense, were always in fashion, but I just really feel like they're gonna come out in real life in 2.2 seconds. Don't you guys even worry about it. I think that this show has the real stamp of Generation Z, and it's theirs. And I'm happy that they have one. I don't know. And I'm really excited to see season 2. I hope that season 2 will be as good as season 1, maybe even better. It was a great show. If you haven't seen it already, I totally suggest it. It's 8 episodes. My channel's not really about TV shows and movies, but every once in a while I see something that I'm just like, oh my god, I loved it, or oh my god, that really sucked. And I just feel the need to tell everybody about it. So yeah, this was my little think piece on Euphoria and what I thought about it. What do you guys think about the show if you've seen it? And if you haven't seen it, go watch it and then come tell us what you think about it. I think that it brings up a lot of issues that need to be talked about, should be talked about. In the comment section down below, I want to know what was your favorite part about Euphoria and who was your favorite character? And did you end up hating them in the end? Just curious. That's gonna be it for me, you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in my next one. Mwah.